13.8 billion years ago, our universe sprang into existence. Astronomers now think there may be countless universes out there, and ours is just one. Regardless, when our universe began, there were a few simple rules that would forever govern how it operates. And it turns out, if any of those rules had been ever so slightly different, well, you wouldn't be here. To give kind of a simple example, let's take gravity. If gravity had been just a little bit weaker force than it is, the universe would have flown apart too quickly for things like stars and planets and people to form. If gravity had been just a little stronger, the whole universe would have collapsed on itself long ago. But it turns out we live in kind of a Goldilocks universe where gravity's not too weak, not too strong, it's just right. Now, in that early universe, there were only two elements to speak of, hydrogen and helium. But gravity took those and clumped them together into stars. And stars provide not only light and heat, they actually create new elements, things like carbon and oxygen and calcium. As a matter of fact, if you'd like to see those very elements, you can just take a selfie. You see, the actual atoms of carbon in your skin right now, the oxygen in your blood, the calcium in your teeth and bones, were created inside of stars long ago. I think that's an amazing part of your life story. See, the atoms of our bodies are not 18 years old or 44 years old. Our bodies are billions of years old. Now, gravity took stars and started clumping them together into big cities of stars that we call galaxies, including our very own Milky Way galaxy. And for billions and billions of years, our Milky Way produced new stars, which produced new elements, until finally, after, most of the history of the universe had gone by, our very own sun was born in a nice, quiet suburb of the Milky Way. And when it comes to the odds of hosting life, our sun is kind of a Goldilocks star, not too hot, not too cool, just right. Around our early sun, there was a little bit of leftover debris, and gravity started clumping that together into planets, and of course the third planet out became the Earth. Well, had the Earth been just a little closer to the sun, we'd be an oven like our neighbor Venus. And if Earth had been just a little bit farther away, we'd be a frozen dust ball like our neighbor Mars. But you guessed it, Earth was just right. Astronomers actually call our little sliver of real estate around the sun the Goldilocks zone. That allowed early Earth to have liquid water on its surface. And in those early seas and oceans, there was plenty of carbon. Carbon, remember, that had been created by stars for billions of years. Now, as you know from chemistry class, carbon is a very friendly element. It likes to combine with other carbons and with oxygen, hydrogen, and so forth, and make complex molecules very naturally. And very early in Earth's history, apparently one of those molecules sort of split and made a copy of itself. Scientists actually don't quite know how that happened, but we have a name for that. When carbon makes a copy of itself, we call that life. I can't tell you in 2016 whether that was something special or something pretty commonplace in the universe. We just don't know. That's kind of NASA's whole purpose, really, is to help find that out. But I can tell you, if life hadn't got started on this particular planet, around this particular star, in this particular galaxy, in this particular universe, well, you wouldn't be here. Now, for the record, life through natural selection didn't just start immediately churning out petunias and porcupines right away. Life was microscopic. It took life billions of years to develop the kind of complexity that we see today. Perhaps because Earth was such a hostile host. At times, Earth froze over. At other times, supervolcanoes would erupt and spew out noxious gases. Time and again, life itself was pushed to the very edge of extinction. And if just once life had gone extinct, well, you, of course, wouldn't be here. But life endured. Now, about 500 million years ago, life began to flourish like never before, a biological Big Bang. And a lot of the familiar plants and animals that we have today evolved, including, eventually, a furry little group called mammals. Now, mammals have to wait a while for their day in the sun because the dinosaurs ruled for a couple 100 million years. But they met their fate, at least in part, when a 6-mile-wide space rock slammed into the Earth. What you may not know is that rock, that asteroid, was traveling at least 25,000 miles per hour, meaning, had it arrived just a matter of minutes earlier or later than it did, it would have missed the Earth entirely. Old T-Rex might still be here. You definitely would not. But the demise of the dinos allowed for the rise of the mammals. And after tens of millions of years, one group of mammals evolved the ability to walk upright. They developed larger brains, and with those larger brains, an enhanced ability to communicate. They learned how to harness fire and how to make tools. Eventually, how to plant crops and how to build and govern cities. They created music and art and literature, invented the wheel, and a bit later, the printing press, light bulb, cars, planes, and computers. But humans have also had to endure incredible hardships, wars, plagues, famine, genocide, slavery. But your ancestors, they were survivors. And if just one of them hadn't survived to adulthood, well, you, of course, wouldn't be here. Eventually, your great-great-great-grandpa met your great-great-great-grandma. And if one tiny detail in their life had been at all different, well, you wouldn't be here. Same thing's true for the next generation and the next until finally, about 19 years ago, your father's DNA combined with your mother's DNA, and here you are. That is the story of your life. And from the very initial conditions of our universe, right up to the exact arrangement of 3 billion base pairs of DNA, you, my friend, have won the lottery of life over and over and over again. There are a practically infinite number of ways that you could not exist. And only one way in which you do. Class of 2016, I hope that you find something in this amazing world about which you are passionate. I hope that you find good people with whom to share this crazy journey. And I hope that you enjoy and appreciate every moment of your extraordinary life.